We want to start with LSU and Ole Miss over the weekend, putting a bow on the 2020 season. As we were getting ready for the game, and then during the game, and even into the post game, I had this sense. I felt like this is what it must be like if you're a Purdue fan. This is what it must be like if you're a Syracuse fan, even an Ole Miss fan. Because usually when LSU takes the field, there's something huge on the line, more often than not. And certainly early in the season, and as you move forward, games get bigger, more important, more meaningful. You're playing in a sport where 2 losses cripples you for all the goals you had set preseason. LSU's got a ton on the line most times they play. And Saturday, quite frankly, they didn't. There wasn't a ton on the line. You had decided you weren't going to a bowl game. You're a game under 500. You got half your roster. And really, you're looking to just get on down the road. So it was fun. You just enjoyed watching the game. And look, it wasn't the most beautiful game that's ever been played, but it was fun. 53-48, the final. And win or lose, it was just going to be entertaining, and you were just going to turn the page. And that's not a normal feeling for someone associated with the LSU football program, but that's what it felt like. And so you've heard Hanny on this show talk about taking the team picture after that game. And the guys that stuck it out, that's who it's about on Saturday night. Really, the game was a microcosm of the entire season. It was ugly. It was sloppy. At times it was frustrating and disappointing. There was a black cloud overhead. You had a lot of adversity. Things really went south there, towards the end. And then as you closed, there was some really good times, some really good things, some real positive, and some real joy in those last 2 games that LSU managed to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and win. And look, I don't do this right here as some sort of excuse. I don't pretend that it's breaking news or some shocking revelation, but it's worth mentioning one more time what LSU was playing without in that game. I could easily make the case that LSU was playing without 11 of their top 13 or 14 players entering the season. 11 of their top 13. No Miles Brennan. No John Emery. No Ty Davis-Price. No Jamar Chase. No Terrace Marshall. No Racey McMath. No Eric Gilbert. No Tyler Shelvin. No Apu Ika. No Kerry Vincent. No Derek Stingley. That's 11 guys. Outside of Jacoby Stevens and maybe Jabril Cox, without having seen him play at that level, I could make the argument those are the best guys you have. And they're all gone. And you turn to these cast of freshmen and say, all right, guys, go play in the SEC. And they just went out there and set records. Kayshon Boutee was, as of 5 weeks ago, the slip screen guy. All they did was throw him now screens. That was it. Take the snap, wing it out there. That's the only play he ran. All of a sudden, a month later, he's catching 14 balls for 308 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he was just unbelievable. And Ed Ogeron, we'll go to Ed Ogeron 3 here. I mean, the transformation that Kayshon Boutee underwent through the last month of the season was unbelievable.
Confidence, obviously, the day Jamar Chase left, Kayshon had a tremendous practice. Man, he was catching the go route about as good as anybody I've seen. But he's learned the offense. Not only a speed receiver, he runs good route, especially the dig, and he catches all the balls thrown to him. So he's made a bunch of improvement. Still has a lot of ways to go. I think he's going to be one of the great players that we have here at LSU.
No doubt about that. He's going to be a star. And I loved him based on his high school tape. You see some things on a high school field that you don't think translate and some that do. And his suddenness and quickness, you figured was really going to be something. And, with all these guys walking out the door, you had a chance for some guys to step up and walk in the door and make their presence felt, and Kayshon Boutee certainly did that. He was sensational, and you wonder what the hell Ole Miss is doing. Cover him. They targeted him 20 times, and he's just running these crossing routes wide open. And Ole Miss just decided, nah, we're good. We got the worst D in the league. We know it. We're not good on stopping the run. We're not good on stopping the pass. But guess what? When they score a touchdown, we get the ball back and we can go score. That was basically Ole Miss's season in a nutshell. I liked the way that Ed Ogeron coached the game on Saturday night. I thought he was aggressive, and I thought he went to go win the game. And that's evidenced by going for 3 4th downs in the first half and scoring touchdowns on 3 4th down calls. I've spent my entire life going to the Independence Bowl and watching 6-6 teams play in the Independence Bowl. And I get furious every time they punt on 4th and 2. You're 6-6 in the Independence Bowl. How about you go for it? And like I said in the open, LSU doesn't generally have that luxury to just say, we don't have anything to lose. You did on Saturday, and they proved it. And the offense came to play. Max, I thought, was really good. 27 of 51 for 435 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, and it was a bad pick. Kind of forced that thing up there. But look, Boutee's been so good all year. You got to give him a shot, and the Ole Miss kid goes to the end zone and makes the play. But the offense, I thought, was great. The defense, not great. And LSU goes up 37-21. And then the defense gives up 4 straight touchdown drives of 65-plus yards. I mean, for LSU to get 6 turnovers and still give up 48 points and still give up the amount of yards that they gave up, 558, with the 6 turnovers, got some work to do there. And I think we worry about the result. We worry about winning and losing. That's the most important thing. But still, you look at in the last 2 wins, the defense gave up 600 yards to Florida and then gave up what you did against Ole Miss. 8 passing plays of 15-plus yards and 13 running plays of 10-plus yards. It was just a defense that just could not get it figured out for the entirety of the season. And I don't know why. I'm not in that room. It doesn't appear to me that LSU has no talent on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, Jay Ward had a couple picks, had a pick 6. We've seen what Ricks has done all year. You know that Stingley, when he's out there, can play. Some of these defensive linemen have been in the program for years and been decent players. Damone Clark made some plays last year. Jabril Cox probably going to be a pretty decently high draft pick. I think they've got some talent. They just didn't execute what they were supposed to do. And that's probably towards the top of the food chain as opposed to towards the bottom. That's just the way I think. But look, the key here is that LSU found a way to win the ball game in the rain and finish the season at 500. And the guys who stuck it out and played as hard as they did in those last 2 games, when, look, 2 weeks ago, everyone at this radio station, everyone in the fan base, everyone had packed it in and said this team's shot. The program's in big trouble. All we were talking about was who's opting out and who's leaving. Kept saying more coming, and they may. But everyone had checked out. These guys didn't check out. They went to work and they played hard. Another thing that I've brought up time and time again this year, it's easy to get out of bed and go to practice and get fired up when you know there's going to be 100,000 people in a packed stadium on Saturday. That gets the juices flowing. That fires you up. That gives you something to go play for. This group didn't have that. You were going to go out there in an empty stadium, and then it's going to start raining, and they just didn't bat an eye. I think a ton of credit goes to the guys who finished this season and finished it the way they did. Tigers win at 53-48.